A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo right here in the city of Lagos in Nigeria. There's a lot to talk about on the show, and we will get straight to it. Of course, I'm always with my partner, Austin Okon-Akpan, who will be joining us any moment. Well, we wait for him to join in. Let me give you a quick rundown of what to expect on the show. While we wait, we will be talking about what's going on right now, UEFA Europa League. We also will be talking about the UEFA Conference League as well. Our biggest piece of news, it's the appointment of coaches into the national teams, of course, the male national teams, under 15, under 17, under 20, under 23, and the senior national team. And there's still one vacant position to be filled. A lot of people already speculating on what will be done. Will it be a foreign manager? Will it be maybe another person from the class of 94? We'll wait to see. Then again, we'll also talk boxing on the show. We've been doing quite a few things on boxing in the recent past. We'll continue with that as well on the show. And of course, we will also go back to the UEFA Champions League. A lot of moments to treasure in the UEFA Champions League. About that proper fight at the Wanda Metropolitano yesterday between Manchester City and Atletico. We'll talk about that. Post-match reactions from that game. And of course, Liverpool got the job done from the first leg. So they're cruising as well. Very interesting, all of that. So that's the outlook of the show tonight. We want you to stay with us as we take you through all of the things happening in your fast-paced, money-spinning, exciting, and rewarding world of sports. Austin is with us now. And, of course, Austin, always good and refreshing to do this with you.
All the greetings to you, Yemi, and of course to our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. It's still an action-packed world of sports, and I'm super excited to be doing this tonight with you. Yemi, so much going on with football in Nigeria. Remember, we had that exclusive interview with the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, and he said a vital experience for them is that they have learned from the failure of Nigeria to qualify for the World Cup. So today, when they announced coaches, I said, okay, maybe they're beginning to see ways that they can put things together. But loads of talking points coming out of those appointments also. The assistant coaches, according to some football fans, are just too much. There might not be some level of sync in the administration of those coaches. People are also questioning Salisu Yusuf's involvement so much. But, you know, football fans are still hurting, so you get to hear most of this conversation. And also, you mentioned boxing. Yes, Lawrence Okoli was in Nigeria, I think, about 2-3 weeks ago, and he's back in the UK, visited the Nigeria house, said he's pumped up to inspire young talents in the country. I love it so much. I was right there at that meeting, and we will be talking more about it tonight on the show.
All right, let's quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio before we get to bring in our partner who will also has a lot of experience. We're talking about coaches. But first, let's introduce Bolu Omoni, who joins us today. Bolu, greetings to you. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show.
Good to be again on this lovely unveiling day. Let me put it that way. From the NFF, many years, many no's and a few yeses from the list. I know, but obviously, like I told some guys earlier today, there are criticisms in everything, but again, in the end, we look out for the positives, because in the end, if they win and succeed, it's the Super Eagles, it's the Flying Eagles, it's the Golden Eaglets, it's the future Eagles that wins, not whoever is in charge. But obviously, we'll get to talk about who we think or who I believe should media and online. Like you rightly said, the drama at the Wanda Metropolitano yesterday, football is just always very interesting, and sports in general, people are really, really making money. Administrators, everyone. Hopefully, we get to explore the financial part of money. It can help the economy, even of a country, if you get to explore that part of the game.
All right, so that's it. That sets the tone for what we're doing on the show tonight. Like I said, we also have another person who will be with us to talk, especially on the appointments of coaches. And you know, there's this talk, and Bolu has put it succinctly, you can't please everybody with every decision that you make. There will always be talks. But from a professional angle, we want to look at all of these decisions and how everything tallies and how it will help us. So our first talking point on the show, the NFF appoints coaches for men's national teams. Now I was talking about senior national team, under 23, under 20, under 17, and under 15. Let's run you through this before we bring in our guest who is ready and on standby. For the senior men's national team, the Super Eagles, these are the coaches. Toby decided is the head coach, so we don't know yet. But a lot of speculation out there. But we don't deal in speculation here, so we just leave it at that. Salisu Yusuf, assistant coach. Finidi George, assistant coach 2. Salisu Yusuf, assistant coach 1. Usman Abdallah, assistant coach 3. You have Boborisha, also the match analyst. Ike Sherumu is the goalkeepers trainer. So that's the crew that will be manning the Super Eagles for now. Let's also continue. That's the Chan Eagles and the under 23. You have Salisu Yusuf is the head coach. Kenny Ibuboye is the assistant coach. Fatai Osho is one of the assistant coaches. Bala Abubakar also in there as an assistant coach. Fidelis Ilechukwu also in there as an assistant coach. Then, of course, the match analyst still the same. Ike Shorumu retains his place, goalkeeper trainer 1. Then Suleiman Shaib is goalkeeper trainer 2. That's for the Chan Eagles and the under 23 coaches. All right, let's move on quickly to the next one. Is the Flying Eagles. We have Ladan Boso in there as head coach, Fatai Amo as assistant coach. You have Oladune Oyekale as assistant coach, former Youth International. You have Jolomi Ali as another assistant coach. Then you have Barua Abidin as a goalkeeper trainer. All of this for so Golden Eagles, you have Uduka Ogbade, the head coach. We all know Uduka Ogbade, first, under 17 captain to lift the trophy, 1905. Played almost at every age grade tournament. Couldn't get to the World Cup though. Ahmad Dankoli, assistant coach. You have Omoni Ilerika, assistant coach as well. Yemi Daniel, assistant coach. Mohamed Issa is the goalkeeper trainer. And that's the list. Let's just quickly run through all of this list and get it out of the way. The future Eagles, that's the under 15 and under 13. Patrick Bassi is the head coach. Abdullah Umar is the assistant coach. Mohamed Kachala is an assistant coach. Ifai Uba is an assistant coach. Mohamed Kwariga also assistant coach. Abubakar Abdullahi is a goalkeeper trainer. These are the names of the guys who will be handling the male national teams, starting from the Super Eagles down to the future Eagles. That's the under 15 and under 13. Let me quickly go to Austin and just your thoughts before we bring in our other partner on this. Your thoughts on all of this. You know, I mean, like we said, you can't please everybody, but then again, football has to continue.
Yeah, I'm particularly pleased with the appointment of Nduka Ogbade to the Golden Eaglets. He's someone who is passionate about the grassroots. He's someone who has also been through the various ranks and he talks scientific football. So it will be good to see him bring that knowledge from the base and try to build, to the top. I'm also looking at to see what the coaches can do with the under 15 and the under 13. That's a project that is very, very important. And with what we do at the Channels International Kids Cup, we can work with them. So I'm looking closely to see the programs that they will roll out. Now you've been appointed. You don't sit and then fold your hands and start waiting, for when you'll be engaged. Get to work. Do some background research. Find out what has been wrong with the category where you're going to be involved. Particularly if you're an assistant, Don't say because you're an assistant, you want to leave everything to the main coach. No, let's find ways that we can be productive in our different, capacities. So the NFF, they've done this now. It's also good to see Finidi George, in the mix. Now we're waiting to see who the NFF will appoint as head coach of the Super Eagles. Most of the names that football followers have called for to be involved with the national team are in that, I've been, giving some appointments. So we will see what will come out of this one. So let's just wait and see.
All right, it'll be interesting to wait and to see what happens. All right, let's bring in our guest also on the show tonight, Anthony Adedeji. He joins us all the way from Zurich. And okay, let's go with the discussion. We'll put our ducks in a row and get to that conversation. But Bolo, I want to get your thoughts. I'm sorry I have to do this to you, but I don't have a choice. They say many cooks. Don't let me finish. But is it too much?
Well, first off, let me pick it from where Austin ended. I think amongst all these appointments, amongst everything, the number one name that I think everybody or majority agrees with without any doubt, I've not heard one negative comment, is the appointment of Nduka Ogbali. I don't think anybody has said anything about that. I know what he does. I know what he has done. I didn't even know much more about it until today when I listened to a senior colleague who talking about how deep he is in terms of involvement with younger players. This is a perfect person. Like you rightly said, he was part of the team as a player. He was part of the coaching crew, I think, for 2013 when Nigeria also won the set with Kelechi Iheanacho. So that said, but let's move up a bit. What is Ladamboso still doing? You remember the phrase of you don't do the same thing every time. I expect a different result. I think when that phrase was being coined, Nigeria was removed from there because it feels like we are recycling the same set of people over and over again. And one thing I keep telling people, you will never see Pep Guardiola coach Spain's under 15 or under 17 or under 20. Never. If he's doing anything national team with Spain, it has to be the Spanish national team. Jose Mourinho will not coach Portugal underage team because there are coaches for underage. And I think that's why everybody agrees with Mugbadio that, he is known for underage. You cannot bring MPFL coaches to coach underage team. They will keep taking men because these people are used to winning. You don't blame them. They train or they coach clubs. All they need to do for a club side is win at all costs. But for an underage person, they know it is developmental. They know it's not about winning at all costs. They know it is step by step. Look at, like you wanted to say, let me help you. Too much sauce spoils the soup is what they say. Look at the Chan team, for example. You have about 4 assistants. All these guys have the clubs they coach. Automatically, there will be conflict of interest. Because, for example, I coach Bolu FC. Yemi is my boss, but he coaches Yemi FC. And we need to take one striker. Even if my striker is the best, you feel, well, you are the boss, your striker have to go. We already have come. You cannot choose senior coaches of MPFL clubs, 4 of them, to be assistant of another man in the MPFL, who many have seen has been here for a while, and many feel, you shouldn't be there, let's try someone else. It's like taking Real Madrid's coach to be an assistant to maybe the coach of I can't. It does not make any sense. Look for another team for the national team coach. You don't even know the coaches, but he has assistants already. How does that work? Normally, a good coach goes about with at least 2-3 people part of his team that, okay, I'm coming with this team. Then what happens when he brings who he feels is his own goalkeeper coach? We have problems there. The Ebo Borussia, I went through his profile. That man is actually a youth coach. But here he's been appointed as a match analyst. Probably we don't even know what he really does. He's a coach and he did more with underage, under 18 and co. What stops us from giving someone like that maybe under 20, under 17? But we are used to recycling the same set of people every time. If you are coming back in the next 2 years for another team, about 70% of the guys here will still be here. And most of them, not to an extent, in recent years, all of them have failed because underage football for men in Nigeria has died. Then why not try new sets of people with new ideas? I remember Finidi job before taking Enyimba's job. Almost everything he kept telling us, he wants to take charge of under 17 of Nigeria. I think he said under 20 at the point, but we never gave him the opportunity. Now, when he has his team that is still struggling with, we brought him to be part of the Super Eagles coaching crew. What happens when anybody needs to play an important game, say an Oriental Derby, and the Super Eagles will be playing? He will definitely be distracted. He can't give his all. We are used to bringing NPFL coaches to be part of the crew. No, there are coaches everywhere. Someone said today that, as much crazy as it sounds, only says a foreign coach because his job as a coach was abroad. Yes, he's Nigerian, but let's look out for people who are not attached to any club, who are not doing another job. Let's pick fresh people whose attention will be 1,000%. We are still struggling with Falcons, whose coach is part-time. We are still struggling with so many things. Now we want to bring people who will do part-time coach. But in the end, everybody prays for the success of the teams.
All right.
Hopefully it all works out in the end.
Hopefully it works out. All right. We're now joined by Swiss-based Nigerian coach Anthony Adedeji. Joins us on the show tonight. Greetings to you. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show. Let's go straight into all of this. You've had our conversation. Coaches have been appointed. But first, let's start from the basics. What does it take for a coach to succeed in Africa? I know you're raised abroad, but you're Nigerian, and so you know the rudiments. What does it really take to succeed? Is it the ingenuity of the coach? Is it the system, the enabling environment? Is it a mix of both? What does it really take to have success as a coach?
Yeah, first of all, to have the success as a coach, first of all, you have to prepare to work yourself, to engage yourself, and to do a refresh course. In the environment you are, when you don't have the opportunity to always do the refresh course, it always brings you back because football is going forward. And the moment you are in one position, you are still staying in that position. So what we can do, what I think is going to make an African coach to be able to succeed as coaching. First of all, like I said, refresh course. Secondly, try to engage yourself with the club because most of our coaches, they know practical, they know the theory, but it's difficult for the practical because practical is what you needed more than theory as a coach. So in the environment you have, when you have less facility that can make you to have different, the diverse training section, it will be very, very difficult for you to succeed as a coach because you will be doing only the basic, but there's something that is more than the basic that you have to do that you don't have the opportunity to do that when you have a less facility in your surrounding. That is very, very important. So as I said before, it's very, very important to engage yourself with the team because the more you engage yourself with the team, it helps you to improve your knowledge, how to read the game, how to change tactic. But when you're just coaching club without playing match, or you just stay at home because you have the license, is going to affect you as a coach in Africa.
All right, we're about to go on a break, but let me throw this in quickly, and just to let you know that I also have my colleague Austin Okonakman also will be asking you a few questions. But this quickly, you've seen the composition of coaches for the national teams. What's your opinion? Is it too packed, or the numbers really doesn't have much effect?
Yeah, for me, I will be honest in this question. For coaching job, I don't think you need like 4 or 5 coaches in one team. At least when you have the chief coach, then assistant, then you have the condition trainer, then you have the goalkeeper trainer is enough. Not push 1, push 2, push 3. It's going to affect the team because everybody wants to bring what they know in the training, in the field of play, and there will not be enough room for them to be able to bring it. So bringing too much of coach together in a team is going to affect the team.
Okay. All right. So that's it. Let me just quickly, we're about to go on a break. Maybe after the break, I'll allow Austin pitch in with, some of his questions. We're having interesting discussion on the recent developments on the domestic scene here in Nigeria, appointments into the men's national team, the senior national team, and the age grade and the futures under 15 and under 13. That's where we're at right about now. And do not forget, as we speak, UEFA Europa games going on, UEFA Conference League games also going on. We'll talk about that as we progress on the show. But first, we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll continue with our conversation on the recent developments in Nigerian football. All right, welcome back. Of course, we're still on the matter. We're talking about recent developments in Nigerian football, appointments of coaches. All right, Austin, I mean, we could go on and on talking about recent decisions made, whether it's too cumbersome, the list is too many, probably that we are recycling coaches. The discussion will go on and on and on, but decisions have been made.
I know, and for the NFF, they are doing all they can to, you know, redeem their image. They're doing all they can to be termed proactive, because, you know, these are all begging questions coming from football followers in the country. But let's go back to Coach Adedeji, who is joining us from Zurich in Switzerland. Coach, I see the NFF, you know, making appointments for the senior men's national team, the Chan Eagles, the under-21, the under-15, the under-17, and even the under-13. Now, as a coach, for us to have proper development, which of these levels do you consider the most important that we should give attention to?
Football starts from grassroots. Once the grassroots is not well built, it will affect the... Once we want to employ a trainer in the grassroots, we have to bring a trainer that has the capability to be able to train the boys in the basic and to let them understand what is tactical aspect of it, and the coach himself must be built to the extent that he knows what is going to implement in the boys. But when you bring a coach that affects the whole team, because that's why we cannot have a transition from the youth team to the senior team.
So let's close with these words, you know, because you are right there you're in Europe, where, you know, most of the things done with football are standard and international. What advice can you give to the Nigerian Football Federation and these newly appointed coaches to carry out their jobs effectively?
First of all, we start from the coaches. It's very, very important not always to live with the past glory. As a coach, try to always engage yourself with the team, and secondly, always do a refresh course, because when you do both together, it's going to help you. Most of our coaches, they have the theory, they have problem in the practical, and you needed the practical more than the theory, because everybody can do the theory. Somebody who don't know how to play football can go into this YouTube, take a training program and set it on the field and tell them what to play. But when you have the practical, it's going to help you more, because you have a good mind of reading the game, and you can be able to help the boys more. That is what we are lacking in Nigeria. Most of the coaches, they hardly go for a refresh course and engage yourself with the team, because not engaging your team with the team is going to affect your way of reading the game tactically. With the our NFF, my advice to them, I think they are doing a great job. I know it's not an easy task for them to take a decision who they want to take, who they don't want to take, because there's a lot of coaches. But I want to say this to them. I know they will going to hear this, what I'm going to say tonight. We have a lot of coaches. What makes me happy right now when I saw the list of the coach is Finidi George. Because Finidi George is somebody who has his UEFA license in Europe. Now he's coaching the Yimba. So when I saw the name that they include him, it's a plus. That's what I wanted to say. Because I would love our coach, our NFA, to please look into Nigerians who are doing great in the foreign land. Because we that are here, like for example, like me, I have coached under 17, 23, under 16, 14 years experience as UEFA as coach. So we have a lot of them here in Europe. When you want to coach junior team, under 20, under 23, under 17, at least look into our direction. We can come back home to be able to help the grassroots, you know, to help them in one way or the other. They needed us, because we do the course every 6 months. We do refresher course every 6 months. Right now, I just came out from the field of play. We have a match today. So in a away match.
So coach, what I'll say to you is, before the NFF comes to you, you should take yourself back home and see some programs you can execute at the grassroots. When they see some of those works, maybe you can get engaged. I think that's a good place to start. Thank you so much, Coach, for your time on the show tonight.
God bless you, sir. Thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's it, Coach Anthony Adedeji joining us from Zurich in Switzerland. Let's go back to Lagos. Bolu, look, these conversations will continue. I mentioned Iduka Ogbade, has mentioned Finidi George. No doubt we have quality coaches in Nigeria. Maybe it's just the right environment to operate.
Well, that one, it's very key. I think everyone will agree to that. One of the things we've said is facility, proper facilities. I always like to go back to Agumbi Adeda said at the last Paralympics that the facilities he used 20 years ago when he first went is still what he's using to train. But when he went there and played against younger athletes, they were using the modern things. So I've listened to Aruna Kodri talking about how the things he's using, the guys he plays abroad are using way better. So I think that one is very key, the environment you work with. For example, the pitch we play on. If we are bringing in most of our players are foreign-based. You cannot bring guys that train on a perfect turf to come and play on something that looks like a grass. No. So we need to put everything in place to work for everyone. And like one of the things Coach Ayede said is grassroots. It is very, very key. I think it's Ajax, I read their documentary that from, I think, 12 years, they start training them about 4-3-3. So you cannot grow from Ajax and get to their first team and be like, oh, what is 4-3-3? No. So it is from the 10, and everything is a process. There's a structure. Do we have people who are good enough? I think we do, but we need to put everything in place for it to work out. Because if we have the greatest coaches and they're training on sand, we will only try. We won't get to what we want. But again, like I said earlier, you may like some appointments, you may not like some appointments. But as a true Nigerian, the goal of everyone is for all our national teams to succeed. There's nothing stopping us winning under 17 men and women, 20. Even, well, I don't think we can win the World Cup, but at least getting to a good stage, quarterfinal or thereabout at the World Cup, winning the Olympics again. There's nothing wrong, but it is a gradual process, proper structure. The talent is not a problem. The coaching talent is not a problem, but we need the right facilities to achieve these goals.
I agree. I totally agree with you, Bolu. Let's just hope that while the NFF thinking about being proactive, they will also think about the necessary tools that, you know, that will make them achieve success. Let's drop football now and pick up our gloves, do some boxing. Let's talk about Lawrence Okoli. Lawrence Okoli is a British-Nigerian boxer. He is the WBO cruiserweight champion. In February, right here in London at the O2 Arena, he retained his title. Lawrence visited Nigeria last month, and this is him right here at the Nigeria House in London. He took the belt to the High Commission to say, look, guys, I'm a passionate Nigerian. I love the country. I want to help to develop and nurture young talent. He's super excited about it. I was right there at this presentation ceremony at the Nigeria High Commission in London, and I spoke to Lawrence. Lawrence says visiting Nigeria has made him, you know, realize the need to inspire young talent. And I love it so much because he is saying, look, it's time for us to come together and see ways that we can give back to the motherland. Let's listen to Lawrence Okoli. I asked him some questions, and I was super excited to answer them because he says he's 100% Nigerian.
I think for my own life, for my own ego, it's amazing. But even now to see what it can do worldwide, as I've been going around, especially going home to Nigeria, it shows that it's bigger than just me.
So going to Nigeria, what has it done to you? Did it inspire you in any way?
That's the main thing. I think a lot of people talk about what I can do for Nigeria, but we have to talk about what Nigeria has done for me. I feel connected to something. I feel motivated. I know more than my own personal purpose, what the purpose is now, so I'm excited. Going there and seeing it firsthand, to see, you know, boxers who have all of the ability, all of the strength, and knowing that with the right training, the right infrastructure, any one of them could be a champion of the world. So for me, knowing that I've had opportunities and have been blessed, it'll be amazing to just, even if it's in a small way, be part of a change that brings on more champions in the future.
So that's it. Saying, look, a lot of people are saying, what can Nigeria do for me? And what can I do for Nigeria is what he's concentrating on. And Bolu, when he said that, I was touched because I think that's the way to go.
Well, one of the challenges you gave to the coach Adedeji was, what do you come home and do something and let's see. I think that's one of the things Okoli is doing. I've heard and listened to many people believe, do yours. He said one thing that is key, that even if what he will do will be a little, At least that little can change. If it's one person, deep down you'll be fulfilled that I've achieved something. So I think it's taking a positive step. But remember, it's not even retired yet. And it's finding ways to inspire, it's finding ways to bring up the next generation, it's finding ways to bring up the next talent. I just hope it gets the right process, the right people, because sometimes you can have all the ideas in the world. If you don't have the right people, it will mess up many of the things you do. So I hope it gets the right people to work with and the right environment. And who knows, the next best boxer, the next heavyweight champion, the next Samuel Peters may just be in the streets of Lagos. Who knows? But if nobody bring them up, they may never get to achieve that goal.
All right, so that's it. We're still talking boxing. Austin covered a lot of ground, and you also spoke to other people there, and we're going to listen to quite a number of them at the High Commission as well. There are some thoughts on the High Commissioner, for instance, also spoke about some of the things that boxing could do for Nigeria and how they're helping to support British Nigerian athletes. Let's take a listen and come back for more sports tonight.
Since I assumed duty here, I've made it as a policy of the High Commission to identify with all the upcoming boxers, including the current heavyweight boxing champion, Anthony Joshua. I was present at his last fight at Tottenham. Had cause to watch Okoli's fight at Tottenham as well. And that was the other time at Wembley to watch Dan Ali and Richard Corey, and where he actually acknowledged our presence. And this is a way of providing moral booster. You recall that even when Anthony Joshua lost to Sikh, we did write him a letter of commendation to identify with him. In addition to that, through Mr. Bengre, who is the honorary advisor on boxing to the High Commissioner, we've been able to reach out to Nigerian boxers who are based here, British Nigerians. We've, on a couple of occasions, have to interact with them. Today we just celebrated Okoli, and it's going to continue on that perspective. By the time we deepen our relationship with them in UK, then the issue of going to Nigeria then follows.
And we've seen that the boxers are coming closer. So what can we do to bring other sports persons closer to the Nigeria house?
Yes, this thing has to be taken in a gradual form. In actual fact, the initial program on assumption of duty in May 2021 was to focus on football. But given the COVID challenges that we had then, attention has to shift. We have to shift attention to boxing. And now realize that the top boxing champions in UK are Nigerian, British, and given the fact that a lot of them are aspiring to the various categories, I said, okay, this appears to be a quick win situation. Let us concentrate on the boxing. Will be champions, then football will have to follow. You know, in terms of priority, you must be methodical, prioritize. You can't take the whole thing at a time.
All right, that's it. A lot of encouraging words. Austin, you sat in the room a few meters across. You felt the vibes in the Nigeria High Commission in London, and even listening to all the things that I've said, it seems that partnership will go on, and I hope that young aspiring Nigerian boxers, maybe British Nigerians, would benefit a lot from all of these things going on.
True, because I mean they are so passionate. We spoke to Dan Aziz the other day on this show, and you heard Dan Aziz saying the same thing, that he wants to go home. They love Nigeria so much, and that's why every day we keep asking the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to say, create an enabling environment that will make these guys come back home and meet a system that they can work with. And that's what the High Commission also, reiterated, that they want to make sure that they are comfortable here first, support them before they start coming back to Nigeria. But some of them are already visiting home. Anthony Joshua has been to Lagos severally. Just last month, Lawrence Okoli was right there. We see, if you take it to the MMA, Usman has always been coming to Nigeria to support. So they want to support. We just need to find a way that we can make them do it properly, So we'll get to see how this partnership will work. And I had to ask him, look, is it just about the boxers? He said, look, football also, it's just about sports development in every way that we can use it as a form of diplomatic tool. And I keep saying it, Yemi, that we can actually use sports to, create the right environment that can, keep love, peace, and unity in our country.
That's very true. And even in Bolu's remarks, he talked about everybody benefiting from sports. It's an avenue to generate funds. Why can't Nigeria partake in that? And hopefully all of these things put together, we will benefit as a nation and as individuals. All right, let's move away from boxing. Before we go on a break in a few minutes, let's look at what is happening across Europe. Europa League, surprise, surprise. Few days ago, high praises for Xavi Hernandez. A lot of people talking about him winning the Europa, but it looks like it might not happen. What is going on at Camp Nou now doesn't look so good. So let's just show you situation report as it is. Of course, RB Leipzig, they're through to the next round, courtesy of a 3-1 aggregate victory over Atalanta. Then the game I was talking about when Bolu told me, I thought it was a joke, really, but it is not. Frankfurt leading 3-0 with just about under 6 minutes to be played. Bolu, you have Olympique Lyon. David Moyes should be praised. He should be praised. 3-0, they're leading, they're cruising 4-1 on aggregate. The game is live, under 6 minutes to the end of the game. Glasgow Rangers, of course, a couple of Nigerians in that, so of course a lot of fans will want them to win. They are leading Sporting Braga 2-0, and on aggregate, if it stays this way, they are winning the game. So it is 2-1. Bolu, your reaction to all of this?
Interesting thing is both Europa League and Conference League, only 2 teams at home will qualify. As things stand now, Roma leading 4-0. They should qualify. And Rangers, where the 2 Nigerians are playing, Calvin Bassey and Joe Aribo, but Leon Balogun is on the bench. Aribo provided the assist for the first goal. But all other games, the away teams are the ones winning. Leicester City qualified, they played away from home. And even in the Europa League as well, Leipzig qualified, playing away from home. But obviously, the biggest shock has to be Barcelona. The interesting thing is all their games before now, they drew the first leg. Then going to win the second leg. But all the first legs were at home. Drawing at home, then winning away. It means one thing, if it ends like this, Barcelona didn't win any single home game in the Europa League. But again, football can teach you lessons you don't know, because everybody hailed them 15 games unbeaten in all competitions and everything, and here they are losing at home to a team where many don't even rate in the German Bundesliga, not to talk of in Europe. But here, except something dramatic happens later on, obviously they are through to the next round.
Oh, so that's the situation report.
Well, Barcelona just pulled one back. Let's see whether the comeback is going to happen. But me, I think it's almost impossible.
I think so as well. So Barcelona just scored. We're going to do an update.
Unfortunately, the goal has been cancelled.
Oh, see, cruel things happen in football. Just where we thought the goal would stand, it has been cancelled. So nothing to change. Nothing to change in that one. Austin, your thoughts quickly before we go on the break. I mean, Barcelona, but just when we were singing the praises, just when we said the team was gelling.
And that's why I always tell you, when you think you know football, you get stunned. What a story Frankfurt telling us right there at the Camp Nou. But let's pause on Barcelona. You and Bolu, you've talked enough about it. Let's talk about this admirable West Ham team. What a story David Moyes is telling us. Going away to Lyon, and they're leading 3-0. After the first leg, I have a friend who's a West Ham fan, and he's saying that, look, Austin, I think it's the end of the road, but we'll believe. 3-0 West Ham, you hear me? It's unbelievable.
And guess what? If they continue this way and they go on to win Europa, it's a ticket to the UEFA Champions League. You never can tell. You never can tell. Interesting things are happening in football. But maybe I should quickly ask Bolu before we go on the break. Are you surprised with what David Moyes has been able to do with West Ham?
No, the last 2 seasons have been very impressive with West Ham. I think it shows one thing, that United probably were not patient enough. I followed his Everton to a point. Remember, he won't finish top 4 with Everton at some point. Unfortunately, he couldn't play in the Champions League because Liverpool won, and as at then, the rule of winning doesn't have a permanent slot. But to an extent, it wasn't so bad for Real Sociedad. The West Ham took him over, despite removing United, not allowing him to have Lingard. They still play like everything is normal here. They are doing well in the Premier League, and like you rightly said, if they by chance, as things stand now, their biggest opponent is Barcelona, and Barcelona now, they are out. West Ham are through. So it means West Ham have everything they have to win the Europa League. And if they do, it will definitely be bragging right. And it'll probably be a cap on the career of David Moyes. Everything he's achieved so far in his career. People call him small club manager. And if he, even without winning, I think to an extent he has succeeded with West Ham. But obviously the next target will be to try as much as they can to win the UEFA Europa League. But if they win, one thing is certain, United fans will be dragged.
If I was a West Ham fan, I'll tell the coach, forget about the league. The best you can get the league from the league is Europa. But if you win this Europa, it's big bucks, and we're going into the Champions League. I'll tell him, just 3 matches away, because it looks like they're done and dusted with this. 3 matches away. If they can win those 3 matches, they will be playing the UEFA Champions League. Big bucks will be available. Better players will also be available. All right, also let's quickly talk about what happened yesterday. 2 matches were played, but that drama at the Wanda Metropolitano. And guess what? I'm reading some comments attributed to Diego Simeone saying, look, I didn't instruct my players to fight, and I have nothing to do with the drama that you saw. I never knew Manchester City players were good actors. Phil Foden surprised me. And Oscar winning performance for how he was tackled outside of the pitch and found a way to get inside. But Atletico lost it, in my opinion. They had the game under control in the later part of the second half. With a calmer head, they could have gotten something.
Yeah, and and when you're playing at that level against the top-class team as Manchester City, you just want to, jump right into it, get your reading, if possible, score an early goal and find a way to catch them on the counter. As you said, they started out properly, but I think you were distracted with tactics. And football is getting away from the kick around and just go and score a goal to trying to read and understand what your opponent is doing. So I think that was where Atletico Madrid, lost their focus. But with the antics from players, we are going to see more. These players, particularly when they are away, they just do everything to ensure that, they get the victory. And that was what Manchester City players did last night. They said, okay, if it's for us to, give an Oscar performing act to get to the semis, then we have to do it. And they did just that. Atletico, in my own view, didn't play the way I expected them to play, particularly reaching this level and just conceding a goal at the Etihad. They should have, done more to find a way to still stay in the competition. But it is what it is. People will still argue that Manchester City were the better side on the night to advance.
All right. Okay. Unfortunately, that's where we have to stop things on the show tonight. It's always fun when we're having these kind of conversations. Bolu, without allowing you to say anything on the Champions League, unfortunately, but thank you for being on the show tonight.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure being around.
All right. So that's a situation report as we go. UEFA Europa League, I beg your pardon. That's the situation report. As it is, probably nothing will change. That's the show today. Hope you enjoyed what we've been able to bring to you. Still one more episode for the week for you to enjoy. So we'll be back here again tomorrow to take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
It's always a delight to have you join us. Let's do this again tomorrow. Until then, in London, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.